Evening. India is one of the beating hearts of Shell. That's the word in from Wael Sawan, the CEO of British energy giant Shell. Speaking with me earlier about Shell's India expansion plans, Wael Sawan said India is a talent and innovation hub for the company. Speaking about energy decarbonisation, Sawan said Shell is seeing an opportunity to invest in India's green hydrogen mission. He also spoke about the slowdown in electric vehicle sales, saying he's not worried about the decline and that the EV penetration will take time.
I think firstly, maybe just to sort of say the Indian energy transition is very much aligned with what we see at Shell and what our strategy is. We fundamentally believe in the role of a company like ours in providing energy security at affordable prices, as well as supporting the decarbonisation of the energy system. And that's exactly what the Indian government is aiming to do. So we're very, very aligned. I think India serves a few key elements of our strategy. One, it is a core hub for us from a talent perspective. Actually, just recently, India has become the largest Shell population in the entire world. Over 13,000 people, engineers, technologists, AI specialists, all serving the Shell group across all the locations that we have. And so that is really, and that's why I call it the beating heart here, just because of that incredible talent base. It's also a big innovation hub for us. We can continue to develop new ideas here and export them to the world.
IP? Ideas is one thing. IP?
I think IP, ideas, both. We are able to really develop opportunities here because we are seeing a forward-leaning government when it comes to the energy transition. So you can take a lot of that, actually tailor it for the Indian context, and then over time look to export it. But your question around the asset base, I think firstly, we're proud of the fact that we have spent close to or over $5 billion already in India. So we are starting from a very strong base, and it makes it a good foundation to build off. As we look into the future, we see great opportunities. For example, in the gas value chain. We have a Hazira terminal in Gujarat. That's an opportunity to continue to grow. We are playing, of course, in the power space. We acquired Spring not too long ago, which is a core element of our power strategy. And we continue to invest heavily in that as we broaden the footprint. So there are multiple opportunities to play in the conventional energy space as well as in the low-carbon energy space.
Well, let's talk about the low-carbon energy space, because one of the big bets that you are making is on electric vehicle charging infrastructure. And I know that you're very bullish on growth in China, you're very bullish on growth in Europe as well as the US. Where does India figure in all of that?
I think India has a very important role. So indeed, we are the second largest EV charging player in the world after Tesla. And we're looking at it from a global perspective. You're absolutely right to say we see a lot of momentum at the moment in China. I mean, the penetration of EVs into the overall vehicle pool is close to 35% and expected to be around 50% by 2050. That's both two-wheelers as well as four-wheelers. We also see good momentum in Europe, not as fast as China, and similarly in the US, though not as fast as Europe. So
are you worried about what we are seeing at this point in time with this slowdown across EVs, across geographies that, that's playing out? I'm
not worried. I mean, we look at this as a long-term bet. So what we see is EV costs are coming down. It's going to take time for the penetration to happen. I mean, it's taken decades to be able to get the current car pool that we have, and it'll just take time to be able to get the EV penetration in. What we will do is we will continue to tailor our investments to the areas where we see the most traction. So, for example, if you see the US slowing down a bit, we will potentially ramp up in places like Europe or China or India. And what we see in India is an opportunity to really leverage our existing footprint here, which is around 350 retail sites that have now developed a very strong customer base, where we've developed real operational excellence in the way we market. And I'm really proud of the brand and its recognition here in India. It's one of the countries in the world, arguably, where our brand is recognized and appreciated more than any other country. And that gives us a very, very powerful, I think, asset to be able to build off.
Well, you can watch that entire conversation with Wael Sawan at 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. right here on CNBC-TV18.